set up 2 interviews to show you the right way
and the wrong way of doing things.
It's important always to arrive on time or just a little bit early. I think it just shows that that's probably what you'll do when you're actually in the job. If you're late, it's a concern that you may be late when you're at work.
When you arrive for your interview, it's very likely you'll go to a reception area and somebody will meet you there. So do bear in mind that everybody you meet, from the receptionist through to somebody who comes to collect you and take you to the actual interview, they will all potentially be asked to feed back on their experiences with you. So it's in effect part of the interview process itself. Bear that in mind.
The interview starts as soon as you walk through the door. Here we ask people to report into reception, explain who you are and who you're here to see. You'll then be put in the waiting room. Someone will come down to see you and it will usually be the interviewer.
Try and make use of the time while you wait to check your application or any notes you've brought with you.
Remember to try and behave politely and with respect for the other people in the reception area. Your behaviour here may be commented on after the interview.
When you're in the interview, my advice would be to take your lead from the person who's interviewing you. So when you come in, if the interviewer stands up and offers to shake your hand and is reasonably informal, then you can reflect that, you can mirror that back at them. If they are very formal and they simply ask you to take a seat, then you reflect that, you simply take a seat. So try and note the behaviours of the person who's interviewing you.
Good conduct in the interview is maintaining good eye contact, not talking into your hand. If there's 2 people in the room, you direct your answers majority of the time at the person that's asking the questions. If there's somebody maybe taking notes or observing, make sure you involve them, and as a nice ratio, it's maybe 75% to the person that's asking the question and 25% to the other person in the room. Make sure that they feel involved. But overall, just make sure you feel quite relaxed, but you're conducting yourself in a way that's going to put yourself over favourably to the people that are interviewing you.
Everybody who enters into an interview is going to have some nerves. It's far better to try to be confident and to get over those nerves. However, be careful that you don't end up coming across as arrogant or cocky. Be aware that the person who's interviewing you has gone through interviews before and will know that nervous feeling and should hopefully, be sympathising with you and trying to put you at your ease.
During the interview we will ask you about the firm, so it's important that you've done your research and you can answer some questions that we ask you about that. We will also look at your CV and refer it to the job description, and we will ask you to give us some examples of some experiences you've had and how you've handled things.
You always get tricky questions in interviews. My advice would be, really, if you have a question that you don't understand, ask the interviewer if they will rephrase it for you, and they should do that. If you still don't understand it, then be honest, say you don't understand the question, or if you don't know the answer, say you don't know the answer. They will move on to another question.
Candidates impress me via the interview by not feeling the need to instantly jump in with an answer. Take a couple of seconds to consider what you're going to say and make sure it's answering the question. If you're in 2 minds, it's always best just to say, could you reword that, or I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure I understood that. Again, it just shows that the interviewee is still in control of the interview, it's not controlled by the interviewer.
Don't fiddle with your jewellery. If you think you're going to when you're nervous, take your jewellery off before the interview. And the most important thing is turn your mobile phone off.
Right. Hey, right, mate. I was a mess last night. You what? Nah, mate, she's a monster, don't go with it. Nah. Oh, yeah. Yeah? Alright, I'll see you later. Yep. Phil? Alright, see you later. Safe, later. Bye. He's a legend, seriously, you should meet him.
Okay, so that's the end of the interview. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Beth, I'll show you around.
Okay, thank you. The way you leave is as important as the way you arrive. You can still make a good or bad impression, however well the interview has gone.